I'm Julian Hart, and I've been a ghost in my own marriage for almost 8 years. Not because I was absent, not because I didn't care, but because I was cast in the role of invisibility, and I performed it admirably for a long time. I spent the majority of my married life as Mira's husband, a hazy figure in her hectic, high-speed existence. At events, her friends grinned past me, her coworkers barely recognized me. A kind nod, a distracted handshake at most. I didn't mind that her assistants never learned my name. I never asked her to correct them. I liked quiet spaces. I didn't need the spotlight. I didn't care about the attention or the glamour. I cared about real conversations, the kind you only have when no one's watching. Silence had always been my edge. It gave me room to observe, to think. Mira, on the other hand, she thrived in the noise. She needed the stage, needed to be seen, to move, command, impress. She was a polished headline, impossible to ignore. That's what drew me in. Her fire, her ambition, her refusal to be anything less than brilliant. When she was hired as a top executive at the tech firm Darlington Group, a company branding itself as a revolution in motion, she called it her greatest accomplishment. And in many ways it was. Mira had fought for that corner office, earned it, defended it, proved she deserved it. She told herself she'd built that reserved parking space from nothing. And yet, what she never told anyone was that I helped fund Darlington's very first seed round, back when it was just 2 scrappy programmers and Mira was still a manager at a mid-tier agency with a broken MacBook and a dream. I saw potential and quietly wrote a large check. I never asked for a board seat. I didn't want to make headlines. I just wanted to help her build her dream. When people asked what I did, Mira would wave it away with, "Oh, Julian, he's in consulting." She'd say it with that same dismissive grin she used on waiters or subordinates in meetings. She didn't want me associated with her brand. She wanted my life to be neat, forgettable, clean. I gave her that because I loved her, at least the kind of love I believed in. The kind that meant watching someone rise and knowing you helped them get there, even if nobody else knew. But with time, something changed, not the company. Her. She started curating her Instagram like it was a personal documentary, brunch panels, product launches, power moves. Her captions read like TED Talk scripts, "Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Clap when you win. Let them go." Our shared milestones slowly turned into her sacrifices. I stopped asking why I was left out of the narrative. I reminded myself, the picture isn't the person. At home, when it was quiet, she was still there. She still said goodnight, still reached for my hand in bed, and that meant something, at least for a while. But the silence I once treasured started to feel like a cage. I booked our trip to Cabo for the Founders Retreat. I sent in our RSVP for the gala, but I was just set dressing, a placeholder in her story, no longer part of the strategy. She didn't need me anymore, until the invitation arrived, by courier, sealed with Darlington's gold-embossed emblem. She didn't say a word, just placed it on the kitchen counter, buried under design magazines and catalogs. As if I wasn't supposed to see it. The Darlington Group's quarterly banquet, a celebration of leadership and legacy. She hadn't mentioned it. Hadn't saved the date, hadn't said a word. When I brought it up over dinner, she was halfway into her 3rd glass of wine. "Gala next Friday?" I asked. She didn't even look up. "Yeah. You don't have to come if you're busy." I froze. That wasn't an invitation, and when I paused, I saw it, a flicker of guilt in her eyes. Fleeting. Gone. It's mostly networking. +1s are allowed, technically, but it's not really your world, Julian. She sipped her wine, sighed, as if I was the inconvenience. She wasn't wrong. I didn't enjoy being paraded, but that wasn't the point anymore. Later that Night. I opened the drawer in my office. The shareholder documents were still there, the ones I'd never shown anyone. My name, signed beneath the Darlington logo, no longer a ghost. No longer content, I dusted off my tux and RSVP'd myself. For the first time in 8 years, I entered the room as Julian Hart, not Myra's husband, not a waiter, not a placeholder, the man who helped build it all. As I adjusted the cuffs of my black dress shirt, Mira entered. Her eyes skimmed over me, somewhere between surprise and calculation. "You're really coming?" she said flatly. "I said I was your +1, I replied. "You never took the jacket back?" She leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "It's not your crowd," she warned. "Don't say I didn't tell you." I met her gaze. "Which crowd? The ones who throw around IPOs and acronyms? The 80-hour-week warriors?" Her tone sharpened. "You don't have to prove anything, Julian." I smiled, not at her words, but because she didn't realize she already had. The gala was at the Hudson Glass House, a place she once dreamed of having our wedding. I remembered sipping my drink, hiding my reaction when she casually erased that part of our history. The venue gleamed. The skyline sparkled. Mira glided through it all, air-kissing, smiling, head held high, scented in luxury and untouchable ambition. She didn't introduce me. She didn't even glance my way. So I stood back, watched. 20 minutes in, she looped back. "Come with me for a sec," she said. She handed me a folded vest. Darlington's logo embroidered on the chest. "What's this?" I asked. "You said you wanted to come," she shrugged. "Just help out. Pour drinks or something. At least you'll have something to do." She wasn't joking. Her smile was tight, practiced. This was her way of reminding me. This was her night. Seriously, it's either that or sit around awkwardly all night. So I took the vest, not because I accepted it, but because I wanted her to think she'd won. I walked to the bar, nodded at the real staff, started pouring wine, just like I did when I bartended to fund my first investment. Near the ice bucket, someone spilled their drink. I wiped it up. A woman leaned in. "Oh my God, you're Mira's husband, right?" She laughed. "Weren't you in consulting? Something like that?" She pointed at my vest. "This is adorable." I smiled. Behind her, a young software architect snorted. They didn't know who I was, and that was fine. I poured. I watched. I saw Mira lean into Gregory Lang, her boss. He laughed too